Alright. So this is going to be a YouTube art tutorial requested by one of my subscribers, Art55. I'm 90% sure you're gonna see this, so thank you very much for all the kind words. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're just gonna go over some of the basics here. So we'll just start out with a basic arm shape. I think rule number one, the most important thing I tell people if they ask me, hey, where should I start drawing, is never stop until you're satisfied with it. That's rule number one. Never stop until you're satisfied. I think still, even after moving from paper to digital, I still spend about 60% of my time erasing. So it's kind of like, you know, Bob Ross. Remember Bob Ross? There are no mistakes, only happy accidents. So with that in mind, don't be worried if something doesn't come out like you want it to. Just keep trying. Even if it's quote unquote bad art, it still serves as practice. You learn what not to do for next time. You learn what works for you. So if we're starting with an arm, we have our basic square shapes here. Remember that this is just my drawing philosophy. You can find your own, make your own style, whatever you want to do. But on the human body, there are no straight lines. So, similar to what we're talking about, you know, no mistakes, only happy accidents. That's kind of like how art imitates life, life imitates art. Nothing I draw is perfect. Everything I draw is going to have some sort of imperfection in it. Everything on my YouTube catalog has something that I could go back and change if I wanted to, but I don't, because it's perfect because of its imperfections. So if we have, say, a hand or an arm, our forearm here, we've got our basic square shape, but there are no squares on the human body. So we've got our top muscle, see how it curves here, and then we have our bottom muscle. We want to add some curves in there. We'd have an elbow, little thing there, and then as we go up to the upper arm, we have our bicep and our tricep, if we get it there. And then we'd have bicep, tricep. This is just a basic outline. Another important thing to remember is perspective. We might do another video on that. This is just a little basics. So this line here, very important, between the upper and lower arm. So if we have this line here, this arm, or this part of the upper arm, is going to be it looks like it's coming forward, right? And then you'd have this arm in the back. Now if we change that little line there, now the forearm is in front, and you've got the back arm, you know, going towards you. That's just a little perspective there. Now onto the hands. Same thing. No squares. So we add a little bit more flesh. The hand should be kind of like a pentagon, I think. So then we have our thumb. We have our index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and pinky. And then from that, we can just take that down a little bit. We've got, you remember our curves. Don't worry if you have to keep looking at your hand, looking at a picture of a hand. It's always good to have a muse, especially when you're starting out. And we have our hand. We've got the tip of the hand, or the tip of the finger, the middle part of the finger, and then the base of the finger. You can see 1, 2, 3. It arcs, your finger arcs in 3 different pieces. Your style might be a little more cartoony, and that's perfectly fine. You can do something different, like just do, one singular piece. You can do it in 2 pieces. Whatever your style is. Don't try to contain yourself to one thing. Do what you like, what's comfortable for you. And that's how you really get good at art. Is you find your style, find your own way of doing things, and then you practice, keep getting better. If you want to make things more realistic, then of course that takes a lot more time. But just keep practicing, and you'll get there. So we've got our second finger. Same thing, we're just repeating our processes. We've got the base of the finger. I start at the base of the finger, or the tip of the finger. You might start somewhere else, that's completely fine. This is an unprofessional art lesson. Really go at your own pace, take things slow. Whatever works for you. This is just kind of to show you where things are at, you know? It's probably, I hope this helps. This might not help very much. I didn't write a script or anything, I'm just kind of rambling. So there, we kind of have our hand shape, hands kind of going forward. And then from here, we've got a little fold of skin up here. We've got the base of the thumb. Got our wrist. If you want to add the wrist in, you can, or you can just make it a little more cartoony. So we've got our wrist. It's kind of a skinny hand here. Give him a little bit more muscle up here. And then it's gonna kind of go back a little bit. Or we'll just do a 90. Do a 90 degrees. So we've got our muscle coming in here. And our bicep. Our elbow. And there we go. And then from there, this doesn't really work well for 90, but yeah, this really doesn't work, so Same thing. I still have to remember the basics too. It's just to show you nobody gets it right away. Nobody gets it after a couple years. I've been doing this a couple years. It all takes time. So that's our 90-degree for an arm. And then same thing, we've got feet. So we'll start off with our basic shape, a square, rectangular pieces, and then we add our detail. We've got our leg, our calf muscle, our knee, add our quad muscles, our thighs, so just to go over again, I'd say lesson 1 is don't stop until it looks right for you. Don't worry about erasing, especially if you're doing it on paper as opposed to digitally. Make sure you take that time to erase until it looks right. No mistakes, only happy accidents. Things take time. It takes time to learn. You'll get it eventually if you keep trying. And always remember the basics. Even after however many years, whatever it is, maybe, working out or martial arts, you always have to go back to the basics and remember those. Nobody in any part of life ever forgets, ever stops requiring the basics. So, this has just been me rambling. I don't know how useful or not this is. We can do more of these in the future, but yeah, I hope this at least helps out a little bit. We'll probably just title this Legs and Arms Basic Drawing Tutorial, something like that. But once again, I appreciate all the support. Let me know. We'll keep doing videos like these. Bye. Have a good day.